Welcome back. Well, the Northeast Louisiana Music Trail dedicated a marker today to gospel music pioneer Alton Howard. It was unveiled at the Whites Ferry Road Church in West Monroe. The gospel pioneer wrote 50 songs and hymns and sold more than 3 million copies.
Well, he was just such an entrepreneur, and he loved music. He was always at the piano, always on the guitar, writing music, producing music, and enriched our lives with the music that he wrote and performed. And it was just a wonderful growing up years watching him do his thing.
Oh, I'll bet. Generations of the Howard family also spoke about memories and his legacy.